Hey HVACers, Mark Marquillo here. Boy, it was a rough start to a year. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just take April, let's just get rid of this one right now, because that one's in the books. But don't worry, help is on the way. And that help is Mother Nature. And along with Mother Nature comes heat and high humidity. And high humidity brings all the standard criminals, the mold in the basement, the smells, the odors, the bugs, the high electric bills, everything that can be solved by a good whole home AprilAire dehumidifier. Now, as usual, we reached out to some of our best contractors and we asked them not how they do it, but why they do it. And they do it all predominantly for the same reason, to differentiate their business, to be unique and to be different. And by the way, it adds a revenue stream that's going to allow them to take care of that donut hole that they had in the first 2 months. So some of the guys that we reached out to were Bill at Kettle Moraine, and Matt at Columbus Worthington, and Scott at Fire and Ice, and the whole Atlas Butler sales and service team. You know, these companies alone combined are selling more dehumidifiers than all the contractors in some states. How are they doing it? Let's find out.
The reason why I even sell dehumidifiers is because the homeowner needs them. And it's my job to inform them of what's available. And there's a lot of people with breathing problems, and that's my job. My reputation is about getting the best product in the homeowner's hands, because I want to be known as the best HVAC company with the best products. And if I'm not offering them the best product, I'm not doing my job.
If all we did was go out and run maintenance for a client and didn't recommend clean air products, then we're going to be in the red because it costs us more than what we charge them to go out and do the maintenance.
It adds dollars per day for the technicians, right? Gross profit dollars is what it's adding. We're doing the same job. My two-man crew can put a system in one day, right? And my two-man crew is gonna still put a system in one day and the dehumidifier and a couple more accessories with the same crew, and they're probably gonna get done around the same time. You know, there's kind of a joke. If you give a guy an air conditioner to install, he's done at the end of the day. If you give the guy a system to install, he's done at the end of the day. If you give the guy a system and a dehumidifier and a humidifier to install, he's done at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's adding gross profit dollars to the same crew, which is imperative for the business.
So now let's focus on how these companies sell dehumidifiers. Now you're going to hear things like hygrometers and RH charts and rebates and packages. And they're going to talk about the portable recall and how to get over price and sticker shock objections. Listen to how these guys do this. It's phenomenal.
I guess the first thing I would suggest is if you can build it into your recommendation and your offer. One thing that I sell a lot of is multi-stage air conditioning. Multi-stage variable speed furnaces. The price, if you really are talking about how the solutions can be created and the problems can be solved, I think the price is maybe a sticker shock at first, but very often it becomes I see a lot of times where people will sacrifice something on the air conditioning side to say, let's drop the air conditioning down one step so we can afford the dehumidifier.
I'm a very big fan of bundling indoor air quality accessories with system purchases. So again, differentiating yourself. A lot of other HVAC contractors are unfortunately going into a house, taking some measurements, not sitting down with the customer. They just have a stand-up conversation and they walk out. They go to their shop, they do their bid at the shop, and they email the customer a quote. You're never going to sell dehumidifiers if you spend 20 minutes with a customer talking about their furnace and never anything else that they experience or deal with on a daily basis.
There's maybe a little bit of sticker shock, but most people aren't really even familiar with the whole home dehumidifier. They believe what you get is the little boxes at Home Depot or Lowe's. They believe that's what's doing their whole home, and there's no comparison. It's not the same product. There's a whole home dehumidifier by AprilAire. It really does take care of the whole house. One of those small little boxes you get that if they don't catch on fire, then they're basically taking care of that one room, and they're using a lot of energy to do it. Anybody that we've explained it to in deep detail doesn't really have any problem with that, with the price tag of over $2,000.
So as far as the pricing goes, and it comes down to you get what you pay for. You have a quality product that is professionally installed and is designed to help with the whole home and not just one little space or take care of that. Another thing for a customer too is they say, well, I've been toting this water, when it's really bad outside, I dump this thing 3 times a day and it's just getting old. Well, I have a solution for that. As long as you have the setup, we can actually drain it and you're not even gonna have to worry about it.
Takes objection handling. Why do I want this? I can go to the store and go to Walmart and buy 5 of these for the price of your AprilAire. Well, what I would say to that person is I would say, first of all, you're going to save about $175 just in operational running costs with an AprilAire over a traditional floor unit. The next thing would be all the fire starting recalls that they have on those floor standing units. Every Comfort Advisor has that list with them, and they are educating customers with that list, which is also helping the sales.
And those are other things that the technicians will do. They'll recognize, when you're walking around a home, you get in the basement and you see 3 or 4 standalone dehumidifiers, it's kind of a light bulb goes off right away that, this is going to be something we can talk about.
I may call to talk to the customer, to answer questions, or even schedule or sell the product right there on the phone. One of the first things, of course, is my explanation of this being not portable, but being a commercial grade, a piece of equipment for your home. Let's just talk about the warranty of the piece. That will kind of tell you the difference. I said, you buy that unit in a store, it may have 3 months, it may have 6 months. You may have to take it somewhere or ship it somewhere to have it serviced. We will come and service this unit for you.
Did you hear Sherry? Man, does she get it. She's selling very expensive whole home dehumidifiers on the telephone. Why? Because she can't get out into people's houses because of social distancing. Matter of fact, nobody can get into people's houses. But she is selling whole home dehumidifiers one after another on the telephone. Can you imagine what this woman could do if she actually was sitting down face to face in a consumer's basement? Way to go, Sherry. Now, one thing that's really important is one common thread that all of these companies have together. They invest in training their teams. A lot of times guys think that training can be expensive, and if you think about that, try the cost of ignorance in your business and see how much that one costs you. Every one of these companies has annual AprilAire dehumidifier training with their local district sales manager to keep everybody upbeat and keep everybody fresh. And they also set goals and they measure goals with everybody in their company.
We spend a great deal of time and resources training our technicians. The technicians can start to tune out the supervisors, just like I used to tune my parents out. But when you hear it from a manufacturer, supplier, then it has more credibility.
Like I said, every year, we have Mark Marquillo come in here, and that is really what sets us off at the beginning of the year. To have a rep coming from AprilAire, and they always, spice it up a little bit. It's not always the same jokes, and Mark's really kind of a down-to-earth guy and really talks to the technician instead of just, this is what you need to do and stuff like that. So the support that we get from AprilAire is fantastic.
We've been doing a lot of training. AprilAire has been giving us tremendous amounts of training. I think it'll be easy to go from 25 to 200 in a single year. I did a lot of research on different dehumidifiers, and I found that AprilAire has the best dehumidifiers. I gave them out to everybody on my sales team, which was a little bit expensive at first, but it really got everybody invested into it, and they took them home. They've been using them, and now they're all true believers.
I like them. I have one in my house. I have a humidifier, dehumidifier in my house, and which I wish every technician had one in their home. When you've got one in your home and are using it firsthand and can see what it can do for you, it's a lot easier to talk about it.
We have weekly sales meetings every Wednesday here at our shop. We have guests. AprilAire comes out a few times a year. I've run through the presentation on the dehumidifier, I don't even know how many times, probably 5 or 6 times. And every time I pick up on another element of it or another aspect that I'm either have forgotten about or kind of veered off. So I think the training that they provide, the literature, it's been top notch.
Yeah, AprilAire has been great as far as support. And we always see a spike in clients investing in the clean air products after we've had training from AprilAire, always.
Okay, on a serious note, we do have 60 to 75 days of revenue to make up. We aren't going to get any more calls than we had last year, so we need to maximize all those calls. As a businessman, the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to add a revenue stream. You heard about contractors in this presentation talking about selling 50, 200, 250 units. You know, at $1,000 profit per unit, that's a really good way to make up that donut hole for those 60 days that we were sitting at home not selling anything. Now, the way to be unique and different is to talk about additional products, additional solutions that other guys aren't talking about, additional revenue streams and profit centers, just like whole home dehumidifiers. You heard from 4 companies that are knocking it out of the park, and you can do it too. Don't be afraid, give it a shot.